Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we're going to be going over the Chicago Bears' biggest moves so far. And I understand, between now and the start of the season, the Bears will likely make more moves, but all of the big targets are pretty much off the boards. I mean, I think the biggest guy right now is LeGarrette Blount, and the Bears are not going to go for him. So, yeah, let's get into it. First, let's start the video off with a little bit of negativity, and here are the cuts the Bears made. Significant cuts. First off, Alshon Jeffrey. They did not cut Alshon, but Alshon did move on to the Eagles, and it's very, very sad because this is a guy that's, we've seen grow, from him being next to Brandon Marshall and just him growing and stuff. It's really sad to see him go, especially considering he said, before signing with the Eagles, he said, me and the Bears are going to make the Super Bowl next year. So for him to promise that, at the end of the season and to go to the Eagles is very saddening, but best of luck to him. We lost him. The Bears cut Cutler, and you can't spell Cutler without cut. Wait, I thought the losses are supposed to be sad, but nope. Cutler's honestly trash. His stats are complete trash. The guy can't stay healthy. And, good luck with your, voice in Fox. Good luck, man. The Bears also cut Porter, who was a nice CB for us. The only issue with Porter is it's like we now have we have three really solid cornerbacks. There's no point of having four. They also cut Eddie Royal, who, he's a very nice player, but he's been banged up since we've got him about 2-3 years ago. But a very nice deep threat. But yeah, so those are the cuts. Now let's get into the positives. The first significant signing that honestly went under the rug was wide receiver Rueben Randle. He signed a 1-year, $775,000 contract, which is a nice contract. At least it's cheap, only 1 year though. He's 6'2", he's 26 years old, and in 2012 to 2015, he played all 16 games in every one of those seasons. In 2014, which was his best year, he had 71 receptions, 938 yards, and 3 touchdowns. In 2015, although his yards and receptions would be, significantly less, he would have 8 touchdowns. And the thing is he did all of this. He was a very productive wide receiver, even though he was, next to OBJ, who gets a lot of the targets for obvious reasons. And my thing is this guy is likely to get significant playing time at wide receiver. My guess is he'll probably put up 50-plus receptions, 700-plus yards. He's a big red zone target. I mean, when you see the way the Giants use this guy, it was, okay, we're on the 10-yard line, throw the ball up for him, he goes up and gets it. So that's kind of Alshon's role. Now, obviously, he will not be able to fully fill Alshon's shoes, but he's a nice big target and plays similarly, so that'll be nice. And he moves very well. He's not one of those guys that's 6'3" and is absolutely just super slow. He's a nice player, and my guess is he'll be very productive. And I wouldn't be surprised if this guy has a breakout year and drops 1,000 yards. So nice pickup. Another signing that, in my opinion, went under the rug was wide receiver Kendall Wright. He signed a 1-year, $2 million contract. He is 5'10" and 27, so he's still getting better. And in 2016, he had 11 games played. In those 11 games, he would have 43 targets and 30 receptions for 416 yards. And when Loggins, sorry if I butchered that name, was the offensive coordinator for the Titans in 2013, Wright had his best year, easily his best year. He had 94 receptions, 1,079 yards. And why is this significant? Because guess what? Loggins is now the offensive coordinator for the Bears. So, I mean, he knows right. He clearly knows right. Oh, well, he knows right from wrong. Okay, whatever, this is stupid. So, my thing is, as long as he's going to know how to use him, my guess is if Wright can stay healthy, all that type of stuff, he should get 40-plus receptions, 600-plus yards. He replaces Royal, and by Royal, I mean Eddie Royal, who was our deep threat. And he's a needed deep threat, like I said. You look at a guy like Mike Glennon, who's supposed to start the season. I mean, a lot of people are thinking the Bears are going to sit Trubisky through the season. Mike Glennon's identity is, a gunslinger, guy that likes to rip the ball deep. So having a deep threat is crucial. And not to mention, when you have a deep threat, opens up the rest of the defense, because if you bring your safeties up and, a guy like, Kendall Wright, who has elite speed, burns you, bam, that's an easy touchdown. That's a big gain. So he's a much-needed deep threat and adds a lot of versatility to this game. So good pickup. The Bears would also sign safety Quinton Demps. They would sign him to a 3-year, $13.5 million contract. Demps is 6 foot and 31 years old. In 2016, he would play in 13 games and have 38 tackles and 6 interceptions. And he's going to be a nice piece next to Amo. My thing is if you actually watched Bears football, which I didn't do a lot for, say they were losing, Look at the safety pairing. Last year it was Amos, who's this really nice tackle that can't get any interceptions. And next to him was a bunch of rookies or no-name guys trying to switch out. There was no one really, there was no one locked into that spot. It was a bunch of random scrubs trying to make a play. So now with Quinton Demps, that's an instant lock veteran who will make an immediate impact and a great pickup. A great pickup to solidify that secondary. Huge pickup. The next pickup would be quarterback Mike Glennon. I feel like this is probably the most known pickup on this line that I have. He would sign a 3-year, $45 million contract. Glennon is 6'6". Glennon is also 27. And in 2013, which is when he started as a rookie, he would have 13 games played. In 2014, he would have 6 games played due to injury. And in 2015, Tampa Bay drafted Jameis Winston. And guess what? In 2015, he would not play a single game, and in 2016 he would have 2 games played. So there's not a lot of games underneath him. More than Trubisky, but still not a lot. So for his career, he has a total of 21 games played, a 60% completion percentage, 30 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. Now this is a guy, like I've said in my other videos, I don't think this guy is the solution to our issues, but he's a guy who has similar statistics to Jay Cutler, but this guy's also 27, while Jay's like 33, 34. And I honestly think, this guy's a really nice TD to interception ratio, and I think he'll be a nice quarterback for us if they decide to start him over Trubisky, if the rumors are true. I'm just really happy they went on and got this guy because, you need someone to replace Cutler. So my thing is, okay, you cut Cutler, what if you sign some super backup quarterback? I mean, Mike Glennon's a really nice backup quarterback, when he played in Tampa, but, imagine they went out there and signed, Colin Kaepernick or some absolute bum. I think Mike Glennon, that situation could have been much worse had they not signed him. So, nice pickup. I'm not going to rant about why they drafted Trubisky, but whatever. It is what it is. Nice pickup. Next, the Bears would sign Marcus Wheaton, wide receiver. The Bears would sign him to a 2-year, $11 million contract. Wheaton is 5'11", but I'm just going to round up to 6 foot because why not? He is 26 years old, so still a pretty young individual. In 2016, he'd only have 3 games played. So let's go off of a year where we have a bigger sample size. In 2015, he would have 16 games played. He would have 44 receptions, 749 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Now, mind you, he did all of this playing, alongside, I believe Martavis Bryant was suspended that year, and he also had Antonio Brown, so he wasn't the main guy there. So my thing is my guess is Wheaton probably gets 40-plus receptions if he can stay healthy, 700-plus yards. And from the film I've seen, he's a well-rounded wide receiver. He can do it all, can go deep, can cut across the middle, can do a little bit of everything. So he'll be a nice versatility piece, probably a nice 4 or 5 wide receiver who can come in, make some catches, make some plays. So yeah, a pretty solid pickup. The next addition, which in my opinion was the biggest, is Marcus Cooper, cornerback. He would sign a 3-year, $16 million contract. Cooper is 6'2", and just 27 years old. In 2016, he would have 16 games played and would have 63 tackles. 63 tackles would put him at top 5 in the league at that cornerback position for tackle. So this guy is an elite tackler. He'd also have 4 interceptions, which is very nice. And he was also a Pro Bowl alternate last year, which basically means he was an elite talent, not necessarily a Pro Bowl caliber player, but he's right there. He's basically flirting with being a Pro Bowler. So now that this is his team, because last year he played with the Cardinals, which we all know they have Patrick Peterson. Now that he's a number 1 cornerback, will he step it up and be a Pro Bowler, or will he go down? I hope this guy steps it up. I think this guy has great talent when we actually watch his film. So, great pickup. Huge pickup. Absolutely massive pickup in my opinion. Good stuff, Bears. The next pickup would be Prince Amukamara, cornerback. They would sign Prince to a 1-year, $7 million contract. Prince is 6 foot and just 27 years old. In 2016, he would have 14 games played and have 46 tackles, so a very healthy amount for a cornerback. The only issue is he has 0 ends, and looking over his years, pretty much every year he has roughly 1 interception, so he's not very much of an interception guy, but he is elite in the pass deflection department. In 2015, he would have 10 pass deflections. In 2014, he would have 11 pass deflections. And in 2013, he would have 14 pass deflections. So he really isn't a pick artist, but he's a nice pass deflection, artist, pretty much. Nice tackler. I would say borderline elite, and he's going to be a really, really nice number 2 cornerback. Really nice. I mean, him, you have Cooper number 1 and Prince Amukamara, number 2. Whew. Not to mention you got Kyle Fuller 3. Damn. This cornerback core is looking kind of scary. The next signing and one of the most recent signings would be defensive end Jaye Howard. I'm sorry if I butchered that. They would sign him to a 1-year, $775,000 contract, which is very cheap for this guy. Howard is 6'4", 301, 28 years old. And in 2016, he would be banged up. He would only play 8 games, but he would have 18 tackles. And my thing is, if he played the whole season, he would have close to 35 to 40 tackles. So this is a huge pickup because a lot of people wanted the Bears to draft Solomon Thomas at defensive end because it's a need for us. That other defensive end spot, opposite to Akeem Hicks, was needed. So here, I'll give you guys some stats to show you guys how bad our defensive end opposite of Akeem Hicks was. Our previous starting defensive end was Mitch Unrein, and last year he would have 13 games played for 12 tackles. 12 tackles? So basically, this Howard played, roughly 5 games less, and yet he still put up 6 more tackles. So yeah, this is going to be a huge pickup. I'm not going to sit here and say this guy is elite, but if he can stay healthy, this guy will be up there for Pro Bowl consideration at that spot. This is a huge pickup for us. And here's a note I made. I said, even though Howard played significantly less time than Mitch Unrein did, he put up significantly better numbers. Huge upgrade. And, I was following this on Twitter for a while. It said, Bears brings Howard into Chicago looking for a contract. He was there for a couple days, then he left, and I'm like, shit, how can you let this guy get away? About a day later, he signs a contract. So great signing, guys. Great, great signing. This is going to be a nice guy we can start instantly and be an instant upgrade. Huge pickup. Great shit. Next, honorable mentions. First on this list would be tight end Deion Sims, who played for the Dolphins, and he's known primarily as a blocking tight end. I think last year he put up like 300 yards. So he'll be a guy that comes in, solidifies that offensive line, makes it, easier for Howard to run because if you look at the Bears, it's going to be Howard's, time to shine next year, even more than this year. This is Howard's team. Another would be John Jenkins, who's a nose tackle, and he's going to be behind Eddie Goldman. Jenkins is 6'3", 370 pounds at 27 years old. This is a huge man next to Goldman. Huge dude. Jesus Christ. This is going to be a run stuffer. Goldman, in my opinion, is one of the better, defensive tackles in the league. Now you put John Jenkins, who's going to be, a pretty productive guy who might start if, Goldman gets injured like he did last year. But regardless, this is going to be a run-stuffing defensive line. That dude is massive. Very nice pickup. Another significant pickup was running back Benny Cunningham. And he's not going to, be our running back. He's probably not going to get any snaps. But he's a really quick guy and a special team stud. This guy can absolutely fly. And the most significant player on this list, who I don't know why he didn't make my list, was Matt Mark Butt Fumble Sanchez. I'm just kidding. He's not even that significant. He'll be a nice backup for us. Maybe a guy that can step in and start if stuff goes to hell. But honestly, I just want to put, I just want to put him butt fumbling on my damn video. That's what I really want. And then obviously you have Dan Skuta, who they just signed. I think it was today or yesterday they signed him. And in 26, he's an outside linebacker, and in 2016 he'd have 13 games played for 15 tackles. But from every season, from 2013 to 2015, he'd have 20 plus tackles. In 2015, which was his best year, he'd have 32 tackles. So he had a bit of a down year last year. So is it possible that we get a steal here and he bounces back? And then obviously you have every player in the draft. I'm not going to go over them. I already have 2 videos dedicated to the draft. And overall, what did the Bears address? The Bears addressed cornerback. Considering you get 2 guys that are borderline Pro Bowl talent with Cooper and Amukamara. They addressed the much-needed defensive end spot with Howard. They addressed the safety position, at least one of them, with the addition of Demps. Quarterback, which is still kind of because you don't really know what's going to happen there, but You have Mike Lennon, you have Trubisky, and heck, maybe even Mark Sanchez will be an alright quarterback. And they have a lot of wide receiver variation. You would think after losing Alshon Jeffrey, this wide receiving core would be trash. But they're actually pretty decent. I mean, you look at the wide receivers, they have very nice size. I mean, Ruben Randall's 6'2", Kevin White's 6'3", Kevin Meredith, who's more likely going to be our number one, is 6'3", and Marcus Wheaton is 6 foot. I mean, he's 5'11", but round up. So, I mean, you pretty much got, four guys who are nice players, all 6 feet and above, and they have a lot of speed as well. You have Kevin White, who I believe when he came into the league was, top 5 in that rookie class as far as, speed in the 40. You have Marcus Whedon, who's nice, and you have Kendall Wright, who's, one of the quicker guys in the league. All these guys have elite speed. And my thing is with the wide receivers is one or two of these guys are prone to break out given the fact there isn't one polarizing wide receiver. So, because there isn't Alshon Jeffrey who's going to pull a whole lot of passes, the ball should get spread out a whole bunch. So, I think one or two of these guys is prone to break out, get 900 plus yards, maybe even more. So, it's very interesting to see how this is going to pan out. And we still need another safety. Quinton Demps. I mean, Amos is nice, but he doesn't get any interceptions. This guy's a nice tackler, but I feel like if you're a starting safety, you need to do more than just tackle. You need to get safety, or you need to get, interceptions. You need to get turnovers. We need an offensive tackle. Although, the Bears signed, Tom Compton. They drafted like a tackle late in the draft. I mean, they added a whole bunch of like, all right guys, but they need like a legitimate offensive tackle. And overall, I think the Bears have a really solid team, and I'd say this offseason I'd give the Bears a B. I'd give them a B plus if we took the draft out, but I'm going to give them a B. Really nice offseason, and a team that no one's talking about at all as far as, offseason moves go. But they've had a pretty productive offseason. Good job, Bears. Keep it up. And hopefully we can at least win more than, 3 games. Hopefully, my guess is the Bears win 6 to 7 games this season, maybe, if we're lucky, if Trubisky actually starts. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and peace out.